They orchestrated your downfall with cold precision, convinced that silencing your light would elevate their shadow. But the divine flipped the script. As they whispered curses behind closed doors, their own foundation buckled beneath the weight of deception. Each step they took to erase you became a step closer to their unraveling, until the very lies they crafted became the truth that haunted them. They laughed as they slammed the door, thinking your absence would echo with silence. But instead, the universe roared in your defense. Now they sit in the ruins of what once was, haunted by the brilliance they tried to dim. What they called weakness was sacred resilience. What they discarded was divine gold. They underestimated the force woven into your spirit, mistaking humility for lack of power. But the tables turned not by revenge, but by alignment. For when you walk in truth, justice walks beside you, and no ego can withstand that storm. They studied your every move, not to learn, but to replicate, driven by envy disguised as curiosity. While you bloomed in silence, they plotted in bitterness, convinced that proximity to your light would grant them the same divine favor. But what they failed to grasp is that your radiance isn't borrowed, it's encoded in your soul. No amount of mimicry can steal a destiny that was never theirs to hold. Their resentment speaks louder than their ambition, because deep down they know the truth. You were chosen, and no shadow play can rewrite that prophecy. Their hatred is the echo of confusion that never found clarity, a desperate cry from souls who can't understand why your presence disrupts their illusions. They've dissected your spirit like a puzzle they were never meant to solve, mistaking your authenticity for strategy, your grace for manipulation. They pretend not to care, yet their every action is shaped by your existence. And still, the more they conspire, the more your light expands, untouchable, unstoppable, divinely amplified. Because what fuels you cannot be imitated. It's ancient, sacred, and far beyond their reach. Blinded by ego, they mistook your trials as weakness, not realizing they were stepping into a sacred fire meant to refine, not consume you. They assumed they were the storm that would end your rise, unaware they were merely catalysts for your ascension. Each attack they launched only invoked greater protection around you, divine forces moving unseen, turning every blow into a blessing. They weren't chosen to destroy you, they were summoned to reveal you, to awaken the power within you that no shadow could silence. In their delusion, they rehearsed your role like a script, convinced they could embody what took you lifetimes to become. They didn't want to be themselves. They wanted to be you, without enduring the fires that forged your soul. Mimicking your essence, copying your cadence, they mistook performance for presence. But divine favor isn't transferable, and your path was never vacant for the taking. The more they tried to wear your crown, the heavier it became, crushing the illusion under the weight of authenticity they could never fake. But the more they tried to erase you, the louder your existence echoed, a frequency they couldn't silence, only obsess over. It wasn't just your influence they envied, it was your impact, the way your name lingered in rooms you hadn't stepped into, the way your presence rewired energy without effort. They longed for your essence, even if it came cloaked in controversy, because deep down they knew irrelevance was their true fear. Their mission to diminish you was never about truth. It was about desperation, because something in you reminded them of everything they could never be, and that reality burned brighter than any lie they tried to cast over your light. They wanted you hollow, stripped of voice, stripped of will, a vessel emptied of purpose so they could sculpt a version of you that posed no threat. Their war wasn't just waged in words, but in spirit, a dark ritual of erasure meant to sever your soul from its mission. They didn't just want control, they wanted annihilation, masked as influence. And yet, every shadow they cast only sharpened your light. Every lie they breathed became a stepping stone on your sacred path. What they failed to grasp is that you are divinely coded, not just protected, but resurrected again and again by a force no spell or slander could ever undo. They knew the danger of your humanity. that if people truly saw you, felt your heart, recognized your soul, they could no longer justify the harm. So they crafted a false image, a mask they paraded in your place, hoping the world would attack that illusion instead of seeing the real you. But Spirit intervenes, whispering truth into the hearts of those once deceived. This is a person, sacred and alive, not a symbol to be shattered. And now the illusion crumbles, the spell breaks, and those who once aimed to harm you are haunted by the undeniable weight of your divine presence, undeniable, unkillable, and human all along. They underestimated the origin of your power, thinking it could be swayed, stolen, or shattered by earthly means. But you were never built on titles or trends. Your strength is ancient, rooted in soul memory, encoded in the unseen. Every tactic they used was designed to make you doubt, because if they could make you forget your truth, you might hand over your crown willingly. But you remembered, you held the line, and in doing so, you broke the illusion. They mistook divine essence for ego, not realizing that your light is not a performance. It is a birthright, sealed by Spirit and unreachable by their hands. They thought they were shaping your downfall, but instead they were sculpting your ascension. Every wound they tried to inflict became the catalyst for your evolution, every challenge an invitation to rise higher than they could ever fathom. Their attempts to weaken you only forged you into something impervious, something that transcended their limited perception. They didn't understand. Your soul was never meant to bow to their schemes. It was designed to rise above, to become a living testament to the truth that no force, no matter how dark, can extinguish the light of one destined by the divine. Their greatest mistake was underestimating the power of resilience. They tried to bury you beneath layers of doubt, but you were a seed planted in sacred soil, and no amount of darkness could stunt your growth. As they whispered for you to shrink, to surrender your voice, you did the impossible. You expanded. Each attempt to silence you only amplified your presence. Each effort to diminish you only strengthened your roots. They expected you to wilt, to wither under their pressure, but instead you blossomed into something untouchable, a force not defined by their limitations, but by the vastness of your own potential. Standing tall, even in solitude, became the declaration that your light could never be dimmed, and the world had no choice but to reckon with it. They believed that if they could manipulate the narrative, control the perception of your worth, they could mold your destiny to their will. But what they failed to understand was that your authenticity was an unstoppable force. It didn't need validation. It didn't need approval. While they played their roles, draped in masks, you remained a beacon of unshakable truth. And as they tried to box you into their limitations, your spirit only grew larger, more expansive, more resilient. Each time they expected you to bend, you stood taller. And in that refusal to shrink, you became untouchable, not because of force, but because you simply existed in your divine alignment. They thought they were orchestrating your collapse, but instead they were witnessing your rise, and no lie they told could rewrite that. Chosen ones, before we move on, I want you to pause for a moment and take action. Subscribe to the channel and share this message with those who need it. This isn't just a moment, it's your divine awakening. The storm that once shook you now propels you to greatness. You've shed the doubt, outgrown the limits, and embraced your power. No longer searching for answers, you are the spark that ignites transformation, shifting everything in your path. This is your time to rise, to burn with unrelenting brilliance, to walk boldly in your divine purpose. Every word, every action is a manifestation of your cosmic alignment. The time for hesitation is over. Step into your destiny, ignite the movement, and become the force that echoes through eternity. Welcome to your mission. Welcome to Lumination. Subscribe now and be part of this awakening. Witness the chaos unfolding around you as those who once thought they could control your energy now tremble in its wake. Their reactions are erratic, unpredictable, one moment captivated by your brilliance, the next recoiling in fear. They shift like ghosts caught between worlds, unsure of which reality to inhabit. Your presence is the catalyst, the rupture that divides their old world from the new one where you stand in your full power. Their internal conflict is evident in every glance, every word. They are caught between the illusion they once clung to and the truth that you are unshakable. The battle is theirs, not yours. You are the transformation they never saw coming. Their internal struggle is evident in every interaction, the battle between the conditioned world they cling to and the undeniable pull of your truth. They can't decide whether to feed off your light or to surrender to it, whether to remain trapped in the old, crumbling narrative or step into the new reality where you reign in your full power. Their indecision speaks volumes, revealing the energetic shift that's taken place within them. One moment they try to diminish you, the next they're drawn to your energy, unable to resist the magnetic force you exude. This oscillation is not a reflection of your worth, but a testament to the spiritual awakening unfolding in them, a transformation they're both resisting and craving. Watch closely as those who once sought to bring you down now flounder in the wake of their own betrayal. The forces they so blindly served have abandoned them, leaving them exposed, discarded like pawns in a game that turned against them. Their mission failed, and now they are nothing but a reminder of their own foolishness, scrambling to explain the unexplainable. They sought to erase you, but instead, they've become the very casualty they planned for you to be. Now, their desperation is palpable as they try to salvage what's left of their crumbling position, but their words carry no weight. The cosmic scales have shifted, and their time has passed. Now they wear the weight of their own actions, the very dirt they once hurled at you, staining their hands. The isolation they plotted for you has come full circle, becoming the prison they now inhabit. The rejection they orchestrated to break you is now the cage they can't escape. Abandoned by those who once stood with them, they face the fallout of their betrayal, carrying burdens they were never meant to shoulder. Their alliances have fractured, their plans unraveled, and the consequences they sought to impose on you have come crashing down on them instead. What they tried to inflict upon you has returned with relentless force, and now they must face the very reality they thought they could impose on your spirit.